No, not enough members.
But they asked in chat for it.
And we said
the camera's
30 memberships.
Camera's a bit wonky tonight. I haven't...
Camera's a bit wonky.
Yeah, it's not quite central.
That's going to bug you all night.
It's going to annoy me for the whole show.
That's going to bug you all night.
Yeah, well,
I mention it loads of times as well.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome back to the channel, you wonderful people. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine Sunday evening on the Saints Network podcast, your place for your weekly dose of Southampton Football Club content. Today we'll be talking about the trip up to Sheffield yesterday to recently relegated Sheffield Wednesday. Ash actually went along with my father, our father, and my niece and nephew, your kids. Yep. So they made the journey, the pilgrimage. The pilgrimage, is it a pilgrimage? I don't know. Hillsborough's quite a famous old ground, I guess, to a point.
I was quite impressed with Hillsborough. Yeah.
So they made the trip up to trip up to Hillsborough yesterday. We'll talk about the game. We'll cover any other news. There's not a lot, but there's some more stuff in the wider championship. I'm gonna pose the elephant in the room question at some point as well.
Don't forget the game on Tuesday.
Don't forget the game on Tuesday. Oh, yes, of course, there was the game on Tuesday as well. That was fun too, wasn't it? I forgot. I actually had forgotten. It's been a long weekend.
It's almost
honest with you.
It's almost like I spend time prepping the show notes.
It's been a long weekend. So we'll talk about all that stuff as well. If you love the show and you want to support us, there's a few things you can do. Firstly, these things are all free. You can hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Smash subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification icon if you will be notified when we go live in the future. If you want to financially support us, which is really important to us because we currently run this podcast at a loss, you can choose to become a member of the channel. You notice some people in chat have got little green names and little logos. It's because they're members of the Saints Network. That's a monthly fee. You get extra access to stuff in Discord. At some point when it becomes kind of worth it, we'll probably give you some more benefits for members as well. I don't know what that is. We might start asking the members what sort of things they want as benefits to being a member. So we'll get into it. And then... what was the thing? Oh, so you can also gift memberships if you're already a member, which is super helpful because that gives other people a chance to see inside the Discord server. And finally, you can do what Nick's just done, and you can send a super chat on YouTube. I hate the name, but that's what YouTube calls it. We call them postcards. You can spend some money, put your message on a postcard, send it in. We'll read it out. Normally at the end of the show, unless it's relevant at the time, Nick says we were a mile or so apart, Ash. Also, wonky camera. I'm probably going to go fix the camera when you start talking because it's really annoying me.
It's not going to talk now. It's not going to talk. You're welcome to the Liam show, guys.
You can't shut up. So don't lie to me. So it's a 2-game week this week. We were at home for the Tuesday game against Queen's Park Rangers and away yesterday for Sheffield Wednesday. We'll start with Queen's Park Rangers on Tuesday. And interesting changes in the lineup because it was obviously 3 days after we'd just played at home on the previous Saturday against Charlton. Metsuki comes in, Kyle Larin comes in, Yander comes back in.
Yep.
Which that latter one you were quite surprised at because you were kind of sure it'd be Cameron Bragg, weren't you?
I thought Cameron Bragg...
He's talking!
Oh, God, here we go. This is where the people are going to get, motion sickness is moving the camera so much. No, I thought that Cameron Bragg would come back in or potentially Che Charles would come back in. That's still way wonky, by the way. But instead he went with Cameron Bragg on the bench, and he had Casper Yander in midfield with Flynn Downs. Now, he obviously brought Carl Larin back in up top, and he brought Madsky onto the wing, which I thought, that's better, yeah. I thought Madsky coming in, I was potentially expecting that, but then Tom Fellows didn't really play in the cup game either. So, yeah, Yander in the midfield. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of nervous. Queen's Park Rangers weren't in a great run of form, to be fair.
But they're capable of a good result.
Yeah, they are capable of a good result. We're capable of a complete slip-up. And obviously, we played Charlton 4 days previous, and it wasn't the greatest game of football in the world. Charlton did what they needed to do. And we were talking pre-game, right? And we said, even for the Queen's Park Rangers game, we said, if they come in and low block us, we're in trouble. And if you don't know so we've had this, people have asked this question. What is a low block? What does it mean? A low block is basically sitting deep and just inviting the pressure, but staying solid at the back. And then you normally hit on the counter, right? What teams are finding against Saints is if they come in and they go for that low block, we just can't break them down. We huff and we puff and we get tired, and then we make some kind of slip up and they nick a goal. Queen's Park Rangers, interestingly, didn't seem to come for that.
No, they came to play.
Which I kind of respect. I do kind of respect it.
I think that they're in a position where and where they're looking at it and they're thinking potentially they're mid-table, they're not really threatening. They potentially could make a push for the playoffs, depending on where they are. They have now, unfortunately, with 2 defeats. So unfortunately, I don't really care, to be fair. They have now slipped to 15th. But yeah, they came to play and they, I mean, let's be honest, in the first 10 minutes of the game until we scored, nothing really happened.
I mean, I think the goal was probably the first shot we had.
It was, yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
It was. So obviously, just to cast my mind back, and we won't stick on QPR for too long. But obviously, the ball gets into Azaz, who dummies and fires a wonderful shot into the bottom corner. Puts it around the corner. Snooker finish.
Yeah,
into the pocket.
Lovely placement.
Placement finish. And we thought, oh, brilliant, perfect, we'll have that. And then for about 10, 15 minutes, we just sort of took our foot off the gas. Whether we took our foot off the gas or QPR upped it a bit, but they started to play quite nicely. And there's a few things now, cast your mind back to it, you'll realise there's an option where Leo Cienza runs through and he potentially has a chance to put the ball on to Finn Azaz and he gets that wrong. And there's a couple of sort of huff and puff moments. And I think it was sort of like the 30, 35 minute mark that me, you and very others were absolutely berating Koyu Matsky on the wing because he won't do anything.
No, I don't know if I like him as a winger. I think that Matsky is a player who's going to probably have better games in the 10 sort of position in the future. That being said, I will say over the last 2 games, I've actually been relatively impressed with Finn Azaz. And it's interesting because I know he gets a lot of hate from Saints fans on social media. And I know that Middlesbrough fans have said that he had the tendency to go missing, to kind of come across a bit lazy. But I actually think, in fact, I will expand that. I think even in the Charlton game, I think he was putting a shift in. Yep. He was coming deep to receive the ball. So I don't like Matsky as a winger, and I found that when it came out to him on that wide position, we didn't really see him do anything with it. He doesn't really have the ability to beat a man and go down the outside. He kind of played a couple of panic passes and gave the ball away. It just didn't. I was like, we don't have, and it's that problem, right? It's always that same problem when you've got a right winger, a left winger, and an attacking midfielder. When all 3 of those are a threat, the defence has got to really think about where they're gonna load up and where they're gonna block, right? When one of those is just not an outlet, it's much easier to defend against, and he just wasn't really an outlet.
Well, this is the interesting point, and Tonda kind of made it after the game as well, because he, I was just seeing a question in chat that I want to address as well, he wasn't an outlet, and therefore, when we got a corner on the 40th minute, no one marked him. Smallest player on the pitch.
Yep.
And, I mean, I have opinions on QPR, which I'll get to, but obviously the corner comes in from Cienza, Matsky knocks it in, the keeper is in no man's land, absolutely flapping at it. No one's picked him up. And Tonda said it is nice before the game because after the game, because people don't mark him from a corner because they don't think he's a threat. I'll get onto that because there was a bit of a story around that for yesterday. But it was kind of 2-0 up at half time, but nothing really happening in the half. I didn't feel we deserved a 2-goal lead, but I didn't say we didn't deserve a 2-goal lead. If that makes sense, it was kind of we're 2-0 up.
Yeah.
Happy days. Done.
Yeah.
That was it. And what was interesting is El Glizzy says there with a picture of the dog. Why do we think Finn Azaz gets so much hate? I don't understand it.
So I think I do. I think he, if I'm honest, for the most part, he was slower starting in the team. I think he didn't get up and running as fast as people would have liked. I think he came with a reputation from Middlesbrough fans that he has the tendency to go missing or be lazy, and he's good against shit teams and not very good against good teams. And then when he's had a slow start, people think that must be true. I can only imagine certain Middlesbrough fans, and this is true from a lot of players that leave, they'll find the negatives because the player's leaving them. So they'd rather tell you the negatives than the positives for the most part, right? Then he went on a run of being, and it went quiet for a bit because he went on a run and proving people wrong when Tonda first took over. And he sort of had a new lease of life.
Yeah.
And they were playing him in a more Finn Azaz type position. And then he kind of went quiet a bit again, and he had a couple of scuff shots, and his confidence. Finn looks to me to be a massive confidence player.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is fine if your whole squad isn't massive confidence players, and for the most part, I don't know if we are. But he's a massive confidence player. So if he scuffs a shot and the crowd gets on his back, I think he then typically has worse games, and it kind of like negatively spirals, right? But I do think watching him and watching his I don't think he's lazy. I think his work ethic's actually pretty good. I think he's been quite impressive for the last 3 games. And I genuinely don't understand the hate. I'm trying to add context as to why it might exist. But I think that football fans in general, that this isn't just Saints fans, this is fans across every club, they fucking love a scapegoat. They love a scapegoat.
All the time.
They always and it will always be a person, whether it's Onana at Man United or everyone has a scapegoat, right? And Finazaz seems to have been that. And it, to some extent, Damien Downs was a scapegoat. Cam Archer's a bit of a scapegoat. I mean, and Cam Archer's not playing great football, don't get me wrong, but I don't, fair enough, if a player looks like he's not putting any effort in and he's not trying, I'm kind of okay with getting on his back. They're paid a lot of money. They should. But if a player's putting the effort in and the ball's not dropping for him, we're not helping as fans if we start booing your own players. I don't think I've ever booed my own players, ever, really, especially during a game. So
you boo me.
I boo you, yeah. But I kind of just don't. I don't get it. I don't get the hate, if I'm honest. I don't know why you get so much hate. I'm just theorising as to why I think he might get a bit of discourse from people. But I actually think he's been quite good. And obviously getting that goal was a lovely finish. Taken from outside the box, which is, we've been screaming for them to shoot outside the box for ages. He did it. He placed it in the bottom corner. He got a goal. Hopefully people will kind of back off of him a little bit. I think he's been playing well recently, so maybe he's turned a corner, I don't know. But the likelihood is with Finn, from what I've seen so far, is maybe in 2-3 games' time he'll go off the boil again for a few games. And what we need to do is not hate him for going off the boil a little bit, because then he'll come back quicker, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
So Mazgi gets the second goal, which is decent. It's a goal, isn't it? Right? And then he gets another one.
Yeah, and this is it. So QPR came up the blocks, and I said to you, I think after 2 or 3 minutes, I thought they came out with a bit of impetus and a bit of energy. And then obviously Leo sits the defender down and has a shot, and it's this modern thing with modern day goalkeepers, isn't it, where they just don't want to catch the fucking ball.
Yeah.
And they're terrified of catching the ball. And so obviously the ball's gone in, and Walsh he's gone down, and he's just parried it out. And it's a really soft shot that he's parried it out. And Cameron, I've seen your message about your membership. Ping me a message in the Discord later, by the way, and we'll have a look at it. In case there's anything I can do to help. Probably not, but
It's probably a YouTube fault. Sometimes the best way to do it is to clear your browser data or cookie history and then try again, which means you'll have to relog back into YouTube. But sometimes that's the only way. So logging out, logging back in is kind of the only way to kind of fix it. If you clear browsing data and cookies history, that's like a hard log out, and it removes all the data previously. So the thing that pings up to tell you something goes wrong, that should remove that error essentially, and then you'll be able to renew it. Okay.
So Walsh has gone to catch it. It's come out to Mazgi. He's knocked it in. Good finish. And then I just think, and I think this is why there was a bit of toxic from the away end at the end of the game, is that QPR just gave up.
I think they went, cool, we're not getting anything out of here.
They just threw the towel.
So
not even just throwing the towel in. So obviously after that we had the passage of play for the fourth goal was absolutely superb, because the ball gets knocked up. Kyle Larin only touched the ball 13 times in the game on Wednesday night. Tuesday night. He only touched the ball 13 times.
It legitimately surprises me.
And I gave him man of the match.
Did you?
He was my vote for man of the match, because I thought he was superb, but he only touched the ball 14 times.
There was a couple of times he brought that ball in, what I genuinely thought to myself was, we finally have a solid hold-up man. Because I know Ross Stewart's a target man. I don't think he's a solid hold-up man, because he's the human crane fly, and he just gets knocked off the ball too easily. And when he does get knocked off the ball, you're worried he's going to break both his legs. So he is, in fact, the human crane fly. So he's got the same sort of lifespan as well.
He brings the ball down. It gets given to Finazaz. Finazaz plays a lovely little ball through to Leo, who runs through, sits the defender down, puts it in the same place that Walsh had dropped it beforehand. Walsh gets down to it far too late. He Tommy chocolate wrist. It goes in the corner. Running away, we're 4-0 up, and we think to ourselves, Jesus Christ, what's going on?
I do think both the defender and the keeper in that particular instance had got to do better.
There was a lot of players slipping around on Tuesday night. A lot of players slipping around. Mazgi was also one of them for the first half an hour.
Yeah.
The keeper does need to do better. He needs to do better with the second one. He needs to do better with the third one. And he needs to do a lot better with the fourth one. And I think, to be fair, the defending was awful. But then it wasn't not long after that, and we're talking 10 minutes after that we get a fifth, and the ball's came across. The defender's sort of gone for it, but he's gone for a half-assed little challenge. It's
bounced beautifully, isn't it?
It's bounced beautifully for
our number one striker,
who has all the time in the world on the edge of the box. it's almost like we were defending, to smack it into the bottom corner. It does take a slight deflection, I'm aware. To smack it into the bottom corner, 5-0, thank you very much. It's a long way back to London when you shit.
Yeah, I think I know you've made a joke, like he had loads of time all the time about it, almost like we were defending. But actually, I think for the most part, our defences, Bree, Harwood, Bella, Stevens, and Manning right now. I think Manning's the weak link defensively, at least.
I'll cover that in a minute, yeah.
But I think that back three core, and then either Manning or Wellington on the left hand side. I think Wellington's a better defender. I think Manning's a better attacker. Honestly, I think it's a really solid defensive lineup. But there's a couple of occasions, like, isn't it mad that we look stronger defensively with 4 defenders than we did when we had 5?
It's amazing, and the best part about it is that after that goal went in, there's a few chances we want 6, etc. But everyone could have gone home. Nothing happened. QPR were not interested in trying to get a goal back.
No,
we were not interested in going to get a 6th. It was just damage limitation, and I've seen some people mention it. Tonda then obviously tried to rotate a few people, and he brings Ross Stewart on, and he brings a few others on, as we know. He brought on Archer and Adozie and Shea Charles, etc. Yeah, like I said, we weren't going to spend too long on this one. It was a 5-0 win, but I didn't feel like we were good value for it. I didn't think we were bad value for it, but I think we could have easily gone up to 2 gears.
Yeah.
And if we'd gone up 2 gears, I don't think we played any better yesterday. I just thought QPR were dreadful.
We'll jump on that in a minute. Sassy says 5-0 to the Library. It's always hilarious when a team turns up as an away team and the fans are giving you fucking shit in the first 10 minutes. And that's a bold move when you're playing that badly. It's a bold move to give you stick and then lose 5-0.
We've all done it.
I mean, yeah, but it's still a bold move, so it was beautiful, right? Anyway, Edwards didn't get a happy return to St Mary's. He didn't, no.
He was awful.
He wasn't actually good, to be fair. I was legitimately quite disappointed that we sold him, but he actually wasn't all that good.
A lot of Queen's Park Rangers fans are saying, what happened to the player that we had on loan? Never fall in love with a loan player. Never good. Never good.
Fair, yeah. Tonda going old school, finishing the game playing 4-4-2. Go on, Mike Bassett. So that was the game. I thought it was solid. I didn't think it was all that exciting. 5-0, I think, perhaps flattered Saints. It was more of a testament to how terrible QPR were, I think, defensively, than it was to how good we were attacking-wise. We did a members' poll.
Yes.
Did we have a winner?
Yes.
Who was the winner?
Kerry Madsky.
Was it?
Yeah, I think there was... Again, I know you're doing that look for a reason.
Just because he scored 2 goals.
Because he scored 2 goals. But I actually think, to be fair, he had a very good second half as well until he went off. He was quite lively. Could have had a third. But he had an awful 40 minutes at the start of the game. There was a lot of players...
Well, that he had an awful 40 minutes at the start of the game and he was taken off. So he played more of the game shit than he did well, and he got man of the match because he scored 2 goals.
You got members,
have a word with yourself, right? If he plays more shit than he does good, I don't care if he scores 2 goals. That's terrible English, by the way. I'm aware of it. I'm tired. It's been a long weekend, right? I don't know. I thought Larin had a really solid game. I thought Taylor had a solid game again. You know,
I think you could have given it to potentially any of the 11.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone had a standout game. Leo got a couple of assists and a goal. I thought he was bloody dreadful to most of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not dreadful, but just off the boil. So Matt there, look, I voted for Leo. I know you messaged me telling me you thought Leo was man of the match. I thought you were on crack, to be fair.
Mind you, getting a couple of assists and a goal, maybe it will help, because I think his confidence has dropped a bit lately as well. So,
it's that awkward piece where maybe he's just not at the high levels that he was at before, but because he's still a threatening player, and we saw yesterday he was doubled up on QPR, doubled up on, etc. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, 5-0 win. Madsky was given the members' man of the match.
He was also given the man of the match from the fans as well.
And the squad, because when you saw the day after, they did a little video and they said, who was your favourite goal? And obviously Finazaz was like, Finazaz said my goal. Daniel Peretz was like, no goals, kept a clean sheet. Like, yep, solid like that. It's quite clear to see how much Madsky is liked by the players, because they were all like, give it to him. Even though it was a header from 2 yards and a rebound, they were like, give it to him.
Yeah.
Right, fine, not a problem.
Seems like a happy man.
Always, yeah.
So then comes the next game, day after, Wednesday.
Oh, fucking
The day after.
Do you see what I have to work with here? There's a professionalism, right, and the line is like here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is
And then
professional.
wanker. Oh,
not
right.
professional.
So Sheffield Wednesday happened yesterday, not Wednesday. It was yesterday.
Wednesday on a Saturday.
We had Wednesday on Saturday, right?
That old good old
Good,
Ted Lasso
yeah.
sketch.
And I'm going to have to talk a little bit less here because I have seen highlights and I've seen the goals and I've seen a couple of misses and stuff. But for the most part, I haven't seen a lot of it because I did a 13.5-hour shift yesterday. However, Ash did travel all the way up to Hillsborough, as I said at the start of the show, and he did watch it. So the lineup, Caspiander goes out again.
Caspiander was sick.
He was sick.
Flynn Downs. He's obviously been at Flynn Downs for dinner.
Yeah, and Cam Bragg comes in.
Yeah.
That was it? There was any change?
No, Shay Charles came in for Flynn Downs as well.
Oh, because they had dinner together.
No. Flynn Downs been dropped to the bench. We think the reason being is that Flynn Downs, and James Bree for this matter, and I'll get on to James Bree in a minute, Flynn Downs is one booking away from a 2-game suspension. And I think if he gets booked now, he'll obviously miss the West Brom game, Coventry game. I think they're potentially waiting for him to save him for the Coventry game. So it wouldn't surprise me. It doesn't matter if you get booked in the Cup anymore. Those suspensions don't happen in Cup games. They stick to the same competitions. Should obviously have changed it. But I think they have been deciding to leave Flynn Downs for those games specifically, and I don't think Tonda wants him suspended for the Coventry game.
So minor changes, but central midfield pairing. Actually, to be honest with you, the central midfield pairing changing, both of them, and still coming away with a victory. Spoiler alert: we won 3-1. It's quite impressive that we can do that because that's the whole nucleus of your team removed and replaced, and then to be able to go on and win the game. Now I've watched the highlights, so we'll go through it. Right, early on, James Bree gets a goal.
Yeah, corner comes in, gets cleared out. Lienzo. Wow, I changed him. New nickname for him. Cienza puts the cross back across. Come to James Bree. He hits it. Sammy Dieng in the Wednesday goal. Had an awful game yesterday. It kind of goes through him. It's a defender and goes in. Yeah,
you say he hits it. He kind of half volley slices it. He sort of gets lucky, really. I think he gets lucky, I'll be honest.
He does get a bit lucky. I don't disagree.
But it's pinball machine, isn't it, right? James Neat was in the chat earlier, who Kevin spoke to us on Tuesday. It's the pinball machine. Just swing your foot at it.
Fucking pinball machine.
Am I wrong?
No, you're right. It's pinball machine.
Swing your foot at it. If you swing your foot at it, right, in it goes. Right? Oh, Cam's coming in at a higher membership level.
Higher membership level.
You're the first person, Cam, to ever join the reserves.
The third person.
You're the for the purposes of this stream, you're the first person to ever join the reserves on this stream.
Absolute legend, Cameron. Well done for flopping your dick on the table.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard the thud.
Couldn't do the normal, so just join it. Oh, he just did it as a. Okay, all right.
Oh,
we'll take it anyway, mate.
I thought you did it because you loved us. But it's that pinball machine, right? This is the thing I talk about so often. So many times you see teams, and it's not just Saints. It's in the Premier League. It's in fucking La Liga. It's everywhere, right? Sometimes you're in the box and you watch them trying to walk it in the net. You're like, just swing a foot at it because worst case scenario, it might spray out somewhere. And then if you've got another player following in, I just have a swing. And what he did at that point is he just swung his foot at it.
And it was yesterday was a really, really, really weird atmosphere. And I want to speak about Wednesday later. Don't. But yes, we'll talk about them later. But it was Wednesday had obviously been relegated the week before. They lost at Norwich in the week. It was an odd game because
I'm having a great time.
Oh, shut up, you. They. Do you know what? I can't even think. I can't speak.
I'm sorry.
It's what I have to work with.
I'm sorry.
Literally.
I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ. No, they weren't brilliant. Wednesday only had like a half chance in the first half.
You said we'll get to half time, but you said here as well, Larin misses a sitter.
He missed a couple, to be fair.
If it's the one I think it is,
where he's put through by Finazaz.
I feel like you're a bit harsh on him there.
No, that's not the one I'm on about.
Right, okay. That was the one I thought it was. That's the one I've seen.
That one he potentially could have hit first time, but just after that he is put through effectively one-on-one and drags it wide. And someone said it in a Discord actually, you kind of got the Kyle Larin in the first half yesterday that you saw the highlights reel for before we signed him. Having said that, the one thing that Dad said when we got, because we were sat literally 2 rows from the front, is we saw Wednesday come down and sort of do their peach, and obviously they're defending. They were attacking. No, sorry, they were defending or attacking our way in the first half. They were fucking massive.
They were huge.
Yeah, there was Lawfer and Palmer and stuff, and they were literally throwing Carl Lown around there around the neck. They were dragging him to the floor, and Carl Lown's a big lad.
Yeah,
they dwarfed him.
Oh, right.
They dwarfed him, and so I think he worked really, really hard yesterday, and he was absolutely bullied almost, but he still fought hard. And for the most part, it was a hard game. So we got the goal just before half time. Ryan Manning's free kick again. I think question marks over the goalkeeper.
That was dreadful. I mean, Manning obviously put it there on purpose. He must have seen the keepers. He must have been like, he's a bit far over there. I'll just have a go.
They know each other. Sammy Dang's Irish, so they know each other. So it was an interesting one. And we went in 2-0 up at half time. Wednesday hadn't done anything. And people keep. Is it Sunday, not Wednesday? Don't. You'll get them going even more. So we went up 2-0 up at half time. We'd missed a couple of chances. The game was huff and puff. The atmosphere was quite flat. It was fucking cold.
Yeah, you did
freezing me tits off.
Complain about the temperature. You were up north though, weren't you? North of the world.
I know.
Up with the wildlings.
And we were good value for a 2-0 lead, but nothing had really happened. And then we came out in the second half and kind of just.
The best way I can describe yesterday from what I saw, and again you were present, so perhaps you know better than me, was we just didn't get out of second gear at all.
We didn't, and we came out in the second half, and it was just half-assed laziness. And Wednesday obviously thought to themselves, we're going to just go out and have a bit of a go at them. They got the goal, from Yates. He managed to knock a header in. And for about 10 minutes after that, I honestly thought we were in trouble because we started playing like a bunch of schoolboys, couldn't string 3 passes together. We didn't have an outlet. He took Carl Laren off after we scored the third, to be fair. But the reason why I want to talk about Madski is obviously the goal, the third goal that we scored was at our end, right in front of us. And they obviously decided this time they were going to mark Madski from the corner, Sheffield Wednesday. And it was interesting because yesterday the referee was, I can't remember what his name was, but he was an ex-Premier League, he's a Premier League referee, he's an arsehole. He was awful yesterday. He kept on, for both teams, he kept on blowing up left, right and centre. And there's a point that I'm going to cover in a minute. But he pulled Madski out with Thornley, I think it was, who was playing in midfield for them, to have a word with him about wrestling each other. And then they carried on doing it. The ball gets in, Dieng goes for it. It kind of bounces out from somewhere, not anywhere, everywhere. And Taylor Howard-Bellis knocks it into effectively an empty net. And then apart from the shot from Yates at the end, well, Yates slipped actually, I can't remember who took the shot at the end of the game, and Peretz made an absolute superb save after it takes a massive deflection. Nothing really happened. Edozie had a chance which he dragged wide, which he potentially should have done better with. Cienza had another chance. Madski had one where he spooned it over the bar, but he thought Laren was offside in the build-up. He brought on Cameron Archer. He brought on Romeo for 5 minutes in a league game. Romeo was seen in a league game.
Oh my God, he's alive. What a drill.
But it was. I said it was a tough one. It was. Wednesday never threatened enough to really get anything from the game, and we didn't have to get out of second gear. The only thing that fucking beginning to piss me off with football nowadays happened on Tuesday, happened here, and I've seen it on TV today as well because I've watched 3 games of football. I think referees are forgetting the law. They only need to blow to stop the game when it's a head injury.
Yeah, that happened, didn't it, on Tuesday?
And they keep fucking stopping games when a player goes down holding their leg or holding their arm. And I understand there's player welfare and stuff. Fine, whatever. It happened yesterday at one point. It happened on Tuesday as well. And there was a game Dad mentioned that he was watching as well when the team were on the attack and the goalkeeper just sat down pretending to be injured, so obviously the play stops. And we had one yesterday where we were on the attack and we were looking really, really, the build-up play was really nice. And I think it was Chalobah sits down and the referee blows up and says, okay, 2 minute stoppage. He goes off. He's off for 30 seconds, comes back on again. But then obviously by that point, the ball is given back to us, but it's rolled back to the centre-back to like you can build up play again. And they're back in place by then. It's beginning to really piss me off that referees don't seem to understand the rule. They only need to blow up when it's a head injury. And I was at Eastleigh on Tuesday night as well. Wednesday night. I was at Eastleigh. I get my days mixed up now.
So you were at Eastleigh on Wednesday?
Shut up. I was at Eastleigh on Wednesday. And the referee did the same there as well. And I don't understand why they do it. A player goes down injured, it's fine. They just don't understand.
Yeah, and I think that Premier League as well, you know, in my opinion, it's slight aside here, but relevant, it's even worse. And I think it's even worse because I think there's far too much reliance now on VAR bailing the ref out the shit. So I don't have to make a decision because I'll just go VAR.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And then they can look at it on the video and I don't have to make an upfront call. I'm really, Ian's put in chat as well, can you tell me what liners do they do? I'm really fucking bored of linesmen. I'm bored of linesmen that aren't keeping up with play. So how can you tell it's offside when you're 7 yards that way and you're not in the right in the line of play? And then the ball goes out and the ref looks to his linesman to go, which way's the throw, or is it a goal kick or a corner? And the linesman stands there looking at the ref. And when the ref looks like he knows what his decisions to make, the linesman just go in, goal kick, because that's what you said, ref.
Well, it's not
I'm
just
like,
that.
no, you're the fucking linesman. You give the call. He looks to you for a decision. And what's happening is the refs are blowing the whistle and going, Saints throw in, and then the linesman's put his flag up. I'm like, what are you now? You're just an indicator for the fucking crowd.
There's a few interesting points because Ian says there, and we've obviously had this discussion about foul throws. There's so many. I think there's about 20 in the game yesterday. Interestingly, our dad decided after the QPR game to go home and watch the QPR game because strong. And we obviously gave that lino down our side a bit of an issue. Yeah, a few issues. Okay, I mean that was your words, not mine. And Dad said that the linesman got every decision right. I said, but the problem is that he may have got every decision right. Part of the issue that I have is that, like you said, they're not up with play. So there was an incident on Tuesday night, and you remember this, where the ball is knocked down and it goes out of play, or we think it goes out of play. And the goalkeeper kind of grabs it. The lino's only halfway down the line. So, but he confidently gives a decision, but you didn't see the decision. He couldn't have been in line with that to be able to make it. I know they're humans and they make mistakes, and I get that. I just think that linos at the moment are a bit sort of
they're not doing a job, unfortunately. And I think refs in the Premier League specifically are relying too much on VAR. So it was a relatively comfortable and easy win at Wednesday on Sheffield on Monday. That's Sunday.
It was a relatively
happy days.
Shut up, dickheads. It was a routine win.
Yeah.
Wednesday on Saturday. There was a don't. There was a period after they scored for about 5 minutes where I thought to myself, we potentially are going to do something really stupid here and give it away.
They looked about as lethal as an Iranian Air Force strike, so it wasn't that bad. I don't think we ever looked like we were in that much trouble. The goal was a bit of a weak one to concede, I think. It was head tennis in our box, head tennis in the pinball machine, flick on goal. I looked at that and I felt, so that's interesting. I don't know about how you felt about it, but I felt that was a weak goal to concede, actually.
It is a weak goal. Shea Charles loses the marker to flick it on, and it's actually James Bree who just lets H run in front of him, Jerry H run in front of him and head in. And actually it was obviously, as always, it was against trying to play because we were bossing the game. And I don't think that Wednesday, they did have a chance from, I can't remember who was up front, Lowe.
Rupert Lowe up front?
No, not Rupert Lowe. Jamal Lowe was up front, and he had a chance just after they scored, which was easily collected by
Why do you sound so fed up?
Because of you, and I'm getting confused with your Wednesday and your Sunday and your Tuesday and your Monday, and I'm like, shut up. It's playing me head. All right? Oh, God, Jesus. But no, it was a routine win. It was good to see. And I think the players, to be fair to the players, they didn't celebrate it like they won the World Cup or anything. It was just a case of job done.
I mean, I do sympathise. So I don't know if Nick's still in chat. I'm sure he probably is because we're talking about the Owls. I do sympathise for Sheffield Wednesday fans a little bit, I'll be honest.
I got there yesterday, and the one thing I will say is we didn't talk to loads of people. We did talk to some. Firstly, great bunch of people.
Always friendly.
For the first 30 minutes, they were absolutely silent as a crowd. And there was only 23,000 there. And I think Hillsborough can hold 40, 42. And then after about 35 minutes, I think it's, and Nick, if you are in chat, let me know if I get this wrong. I think it's the north stand that is to the left of where the away fans sit. The 2 blocks there started singing. And they started singing on the 35th minute and they didn't shut up until the end of the game. In fact, when Harvey Bellis and Ryan Manning and stuff scored, they didn't stop what they're doing, they just carried on singing. And I think there needs to be a massive credit out to them because for the 20,000, there's 3,000 Saints fans that were there, 3,500 Saints fans that were yesterday. But for the 20,000 Sheffield Wednesday fans that were there, they were, they're supporting their team that they knew they didn't have a chance. They'd have a chance, obviously, but they knew they weren't going to win yesterday. The only thing that I am going to criticise, and this is my rant, is what is it with people going to a football game and taking a fucking drum?
It annoys me.
So there was one at Eastleigh on Wednesday night.
He's the grumpy Rantosaurus tonight. Have you noticed?
Wednesday night. And they're banging along with 2,000 people. And I'm there just trying to watch a game of football. It was an awful game of football, by the way. But they're banging a fucking drum and no one's singing along anyway. There's only 2,000 people there yesterday. And then Wednesday, they had a drum and a trumpet. Sounded like fucking the Orcs were coming to Isengard. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's like bang, 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 bang. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Cheeky little Lord of the Rings reference there.
It was doing my head in. I fucking hated it. Sorry, I can't stand drums at a football game.
We also had a comment in chat earlier about what did you think of the concourse, and it wasn't very nice. Apparently, I just saw it earlier. I can't find it at the moment, but
I will be honest. I was sat in the bottom tier, and I had the kids with me.
So sorry, Daniel Jones. Can I have Ash's opinion on the concourse at Sheffield Wednesday? How rubbish it was, but a great atmosphere at half time.
So it was a good atmosphere at half time. We could hear it from where we were, but there was issues with the concourse as well when we first got in because I don't know what they were because we got in and I got the kids seated. So for those who don't understand, I took my wife. No, I didn't take my wife. That would be my wife. I took my son and my daughter. My son's used to going to football. My daughter really isn't, and she's only 8. So we went in and she was blown away when she walked in and saw the stadium, but. We went and sat them down about an hour before kick-off and she was all interested in who's this, who's that, who's this, who's that. So yeah, what are you laughing at?
The third edition says, I'm confused. Did Wednesday have the drum on Tuesday or was the drum there on Tuesday for Wednesday? Should we move on?
I'm about to raise bait.
Raise
quits.
So kind of a nothing. I mean, right. We've played 3 games not since the last podcast because the last podcast we played Charlton, but in the space of 8 days we played 3 games. We played Charlton, we played QPR, we played Wednesday. Yet again, we've come away with 7 points. From a possible 9. We're currently top of the form chart in the league.
Level, yes.
Well, yeah, I think the last time I checked, before yesterday, I think I checked and we were top, but we only won again, so we must be top of the form chart still.
Yeah.
So, Tonda at the moment, his statistics at least are quite impressive. It's showing us that he is one of the most successful Saints managers of recent times. Now, granted, when we're comparing to people like Ronald Koeman or Pochettino, they were obviously managing the Premier League. It is a different beast. But in terms of his win rate and his points per game, he's up there at the moment.
He has done... It's amazing to think that sort of 6 weeks ago we were all sat here telling us that we think, potentially if he doesn't get a win in the next couple of games, he was going to be out. He's done well. He's adapted now and he's changed his shape. And actually, the members poll that I did yesterday, and I thought there was a standout player for us yesterday.
Okay, so who was it?
I thought, Cameron Bragg was the one that won man of the match. And I thought he was absolutely superb yesterday. He was... You will know what I talk about, and everyone who's watching, they'll talk about 118 people. Don't forget to hit that like button, people. Only 30 likes, it's free.
Liking's free.
He was the one that did the ugly stuff with no fuss. He just broke the play up, spread the ball, broke the play up, spread the ball. He did the Flynn Downs job, but he was one of those midfielders you didn't really notice he was there until you needed to notice he was there.
Yeah. Which is solid.
He was
solid. They often don't get enough of an accolade because they don't do anything special because they don't play shit for 40 minutes and score 2 goals. So they often don't get the accolades.
Another cheeky dig at the members there. Sorry, guys. But no, it was. He was solid, and again yesterday there wasn't anyone who had a particularly bad game. You could have given the man of the match to any of them, really.
Yeah,
and it would have been no massive issue.
Okay. So who did the members pick?
Cameron Bragg.
Good, solid. Happy with that.
And he didn't score.
Before we get into the other stuff that we've got to talk about, I will say, because I kept it on the comment on purpose, and I said I would, Mr. James Neat came in. He came and found us on...
he did, yes.
On Thursday, lovely bloke, and said, remember a shout out to my wife who watches every minute of the podcast, of every podcast, bless her. So, good evening, Mrs. James. I don't know your name. You didn't tell me your name.
Buy James a membership.
Or get yourself one.
Get yourself one, yeah.
And be like...
Yeah. Be the bigger person.
I'm a member, James. Just not be that person. But, hey, Mrs. James. Anyway, back to the show. I'm going to ask... Before we get into the stuff that you've written in here, I'm going to ask the elephant in the room question.
17.
That's the legal response.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
That's how you kept yourself off the register. So
I'm intrigued as to where you go because I'm the one that does the. I'm the one that does the note. I'm not putting them in there.
Obviously, 3 more points yesterday is a bonus. Before yesterday, we were 4 points behind Wrexham.
We still are.
Wrexham obviously won, so we're still 4 points behind Wrexham.
Yes.
However, 8 games undefeated, 6 wins, 2 draws.
Yes.
Are we now feeling more confident about playoff places at the end of the season, or is it still a case of there's no point thinking about it, just focus game on game? Where are you with that at the moment? Because I 3 or 4 games ago, I'd have said to you, I don't, maybe we could. I'm thinking we're looking quite strong at the moment. We've obviously got some difficult games coming up. What are you thinking?
I think you have to think both bits. So firstly, I think you need to think about making sure you take every game as it goes. So we'll preview the Fulham game because obviously that is the only game that we've got next week. But after the Fulham game, we go into 2 tricky games for different reasons. We've got West Brom away on the Wednesday and we've got Coventry away on the Saturday, which is just awful. So you need to take every game as it comes, obviously. Of course you do. I've seen the chat talking about it. Some people are saying about the others, it's a tough situation because the playoffs, you've got teams there that have been decent and teams there that haven't been decent. So, for example, Hull sit on 6. We're 7 points behind Hull. And Hull have been sort of off it. They were off it 2 weeks ago, or last week they were dropping like flies and they've won 2 in a row. Wrexham seem to keep picking up wins. I can see Gartsy's in there fangirling over flipping Disney FC. But Wrexham keep picking up wins and fair play to them. Do I think they're strong enough to win the playoffs? No, I don't. But they've won 3 on the row and they're back in the spin. There's 11 games to go. We are traditionally stronger at home, and 7 of those 11 games are at home.
Yeah.
So by the time we sit here in 2 weeks, there'll be 9 games to go, and 7 of them will be at home. If we win our home games, I think we'll be in the playoffs.
Okay.
Yes, we want to go. We'll probably do something stupid like lose to West Brom and draw at Coventry and beat Fulham or something like that. But I understand what people are saying about what would happen if we went up. The football club will want to go up. So forget about the permutations of what happens if we go up, etc., etc. Let's just worry about the actual game in hand. I think there's still a lot of ground to fight for. So we are still actually, and this is the thing, we're only 10 points behind Borough, who are dropping like flies. At the moment, they're dropping like flies. So because they're dropping, they're potentially up for grabs. Millwall are flying again. Ipswich are sort of Jekyll and Hyde. Hull are Jekyll and Hyde. Wrexham had a bit of bad form. They've now had a bit of good form. We're potentially pulling away from those bits. So we've still got to play above us. We've still got to play Coventry, Ipswich, and Wrexham. And we play Wrexham on Easter Monday, I believe. If we don't win next Sunday, we play them on Easter Monday. If we do win next Sunday, we won't play them, I think. I think next round of the FA Cup's over Easter weekend. A lot of pundits are now coming out and saying that we're the team to watch. I always remember that old Alex Ferguson quote of teams that do well are the teams that win when they don't play well. I don't think we've played particularly well this week. I honestly don't. I don't think that we've been absolutely fantastic. I think we've been okay. I think we were sort of second into third gear on Tuesday, and we were second gear yesterday.
This is where it fits that quote. I think I agree with you. The last 2 games, I don't think we've been fantastic, and we've beat one team 5-0 and one team 3-1. We haven't been great. If we were up in gear 5 or 6 against both of those teams, we scored 2-3 more goals each game. So I'm feeling a lot better right now than I was 2 months ago. Obviously, 8 games and no defeats will do that to you. What's interesting is one of the biggest changes we've seen, and I actually think this is even a big change comparatively with the previous championship season, is there's a lot more clean sheets now.
And it was interesting yesterday watching it. We don't sit that close. We sit, what row do we sit? V, X, Y, whatever it is up that area. And yesterday I was 2 seats from the front, seeing the amount that Peretz actually does in terms of managing the game and managing. When you're down at that lower level, you start to see the leaders. So I could quite clearly see the leadership from Jack Stevens yesterday, Peretz, and Finn Azaz as well was another one who was very much a case of trying to manage people around, and then obviously you've got Cameron Bragg and Shay Charles who are quite quiet and composed and keep themselves to themselves. If there was a weakness yesterday, I suppose it still would have been Ryan Manning down that left-hand side, but he offers you a different alternative going forward instead of Wellington. I think we look at ourselves and find ourselves in a position where we need to stop thinking about the people above us and just start winning those games.
Yeah, okay.
In 3 weeks' time, we'll sit here. Look, we've got 11 games left. If we win 6 of those, I think we'll be in the playoffs.
Interesting. I think we will be at the moment. That's my current gut feeling, but we're also Saints fans, and we know how that can change so rapidly. There's some other stuff going on in the wider championship. One thing you haven't got in here, I don't think, there was a rumour that they're changing some of the rules around taking too long to take a throw-in, taking too long for a substitution. Have you heard about these?
I've heard about them wanting to change players going off injured to a minute.
So there was a rumor. There's a rumor going around that they're looking at rules whereby if you take too long for a throw-in or a goal kick, the referee can issue the decision the other way. So a throw-in will swap sides. A goal kick will turn into a corner kick. So goalkeeper's time wasting on a goal kick, it will turn to a corner kick. That's quite interesting. I like that as a concept. There was also a substitution. If you take longer than 10 seconds to get off the park of a substitution, then the oncoming player will have to wait 60 seconds before he can come on.
I haven't heard that. That's interesting.
I just read that on social media yesterday or the day before. I can't remember.
That only benefit us because we're rubbish at shithousing. So.
And we get done by it all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But clubs are also voting on the 5th of March about expanding the playoffs from 4 teams to 6 teams. I know how I feel about it. My personal opinion on this is it's not fucking broke. It's a very exciting league. We're still in a place where around the mid-table could still make the playoffs, whilst also looking over their shoulder for the relegation zone. Why change it? It ain't broke. So leave it alone.
I'm looking at the table right now, and I brought it up specifically for this reason. We sit on 53 points, and we've just talked about potentially catching Middlesbrough on 63 if we have a good run. Middlesbrough at the moment, stinking the place out. Sorry, Dave, if you're watching, stinking the place out. They are not doing well at the top of the league. 8th place is on 51 points. That's Derby. So if you roughly say potentially 10 points behind, could potentially have the opportunity of catching up with 11 games to go, and you go down to 41 places, that then would bring in Charlton on 41 points in 18th place. So what it would then do is, I'm looking at the table right now, and apologies if chat can't see one, so I'll just try and explain this. You got Charlton on 41, Norwich on 45, Swansea on 46, QPR 47, Stoke 47. I would potentially look at that table now and probably suggest, as it gets going, unless something dramatically changes with form, anyone probably under Preston, so anyone in the top half could potentially have a shout at the playoffs. Preston are sitting on 49 points, so that's 8 points behind Wrexham. That's a fair big chunk to make up in 11 games. If you expand it to those 8 teams, then suddenly you're dropping that all the way down to sort of 18th place. And what it is for those clubs who, like us, have dropped down and have a bit of a bad start, for example, it gives them a bit of a get out of jail free card.
I don't like it.
I'm with you. I love the playoffs. I always have done. I've always loved the playoffs. I watch every game. The wife thinks I'm divorcing her every year when the playoffs are on because I'm there. I just don't talk to her because I'm watching the playoffs. It's amazing. The limbs every time a goal goes in is fantastic. But again, as you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and I think and what you said was quite interesting, right? Because you said all the way down to Charlton, unless a massive run of form, they could. But that's the point. They still could at this stage of the season. Those teams likely won't be in contention for the playoffs, but they actually still could. If they went on a monumental run of form and a couple of teams above them have a wobble, there's every chance they can surge up the league. And we always see a late surge.
I said it tongue-in-cheek 5 or 6 weeks ago when we talked about this first time round, and I said there's always a team that at the point that we're talking, just after the festive period, that sits 16th, 17th, who make a surge and they shoot up the league and they aim towards the playoffs. And I said, it could be us. Turns out it is us. Whether we keep that going on or not, because there'll probably be another dip between now and the end of the season where we have a couple of bad results, etc. But it's obviously how you come about. And it'll be a tougher route. So for teams, from what I understand it, there's going to be 4 teams who play a one game and then it'll go back into the original playoff format. I haven't got the permutations in front of me, but we did talk about it before. It'll be more games. It'll make pre-season shorter. I mean, the team that wins the playoffs only got about 6 weeks to prepare for the Premier League season anyway. So
yeah, I don't like it. I'm personally a stick to 4. We'll see. Is there a feeling as to which way they're going to vote, or is it?
I think they'll go for it.
You reckon?
It's money, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, more teams will want it than don't. Because
like I just said, every single team, all the way down to Charlton, even Pompey on 39 points, potentially could be thinking, if we just win 8 games in a row, which sounds stupid, it happened. Cameron just mentioned it there. When we went up under Nigel Adkins, we were 5-6 points ahead, and then Reading out of nowhere just won everything. They won like 10 games in a row and won the league. So they'll vote for it because it's going to leave everyone with more of an opportunity to get into a playoff game. And when you get into the playoffs, like a cup game to a degree, it's a lottery. Yeah. Anyone can beat anyone, and we've seen that in this league.
And you make money from it.
Exactly.
Ultimately. Right, so Championship Roundup. Friday night, Watford. Well, let us know, by the way, chat in your comments what you think. Would you go 4 or 6 games if you really want to tell us? If you're really desperate to tell us, you can stick on a super chat. Championship Roundup. Friday night win for Watford at Bristol City.
Yeah, but I will admit I was too busy watching Wolves versus Aston Villa because I was interested to see how well Adam Armstrong was playing.
I'm interested how you've written wins tomorrow for Coventry. You can see in the future, apparently. That's what you've written right in front of me. Wins tomorrow for Coventry the last minute.
I don't know.
But they got a win in the last minute.
They did. Jack Rodoni scored a goal from about 30 yards, but the keeper was about 20 yards off his line.
We should have bought him.
We should have bought him maybe, but we bought Finazaz instead. He didn't want to come, to be fair. Coventry are now 8 points clear of the automatic domes. And obviously we just asked Chat a question, but I'm interested if they think Coventry have sort of wavered a bit. Is that them up?
I think it is now. They've returned to form. They had a wobble, and I thought this could be one of the biggest bottle jobs we've ever seen. They've now returned to form. I don't think I see them dropping too many more. I don't think I see them dropping enough points to drop out of automatic promotion. I'll be honest. So we've then got Derby beat Blackburn, Norwich beat Leicester, who remain in the bottom 3. That's a problem for them.
Very much so.
And they still got the retry, essentially, for their points deduction, which could get worse as well. Remember, that although they've appealed it, there is a possibility their points deduction becomes bigger rather than smaller. So it's a bold move to appeal it. Oxford beat West Brom at the Kassam, who were booed off among ugly scenes at the full-time whistle. I've not seen this, actually. This is news to me.
West Brom have... Just recently, they had a 0-0 draw at home to someone. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Charlton, actually. And they sacked Eric Ramsey, the PE teacher, who we were linked with a long time ago, who was, I believe he was in charge of FC Minnesota.
Yeah.
And they sacked him, and they've now got, I can't even remember who's in temporary charge, to be fair. But they're 1 point. They sit on 35 points. Leicester sit on 34.
They're like 2 points above the relegation, or are they now directly above the 1
point above the relegation zone?
1 place, even. I mean,
1 place and 1 point above the relegation zone. And Oxford at the time were starting to pull away, and Oxford beat them yesterday. We've seen it. Obviously, it's at Mary's this season when scene can turn ugly, but yesterday at the Kassam it turned really ugly. A lot more James Morrison, thank you, Henry, is in charge of West Brom at the moment. A lot more. You're not fit to wear the shirt, and players not wanting to face the music. I still think, with my betting hat on, I still think West Brom will be the team that drop.
Okay.
But it's going to be a big game at the Hawthorns when we go there in a couple of weeks.
Wrexham win at Charlton as Nathan Jones doesn't do us a favour. He still hates us. Sheffield United beat QPR. QPR, another loss. Their form's pretty shit at the moment as well.
Again, they were looking at the playoffs before they came down here. I think that's done for them now.
Yeah, Ipswich batter Swansea. What was the result?
3-0.
3-0. And then Millwall win at Preston.
Millwall. So this is a question that I've had with
my friend
a lot of
Dan's a
people.
Millwall fan, so he'll be happy, just so you know.
Millwall in the Premier League. That'll be tasty, wouldn't it? They take big numbers wherever they go.
And then Skate Watch, Hull beat Pompey 1-0. So we got 2 wins, Pompey got beat. Whee!
Well, James has said it a few times in there. It's Pompey battered them, but didn't put the ball in the back of the net. And the goal that Hull scored was on a breakaway. Hull seems to be getting battered every game at the moment, but no one seems to be taking the chances against them. And you remember when they came here, we were kind of bossed them, but still lost. I don't think Pompey are going to go down. I think they're sort of 4 or 5 points clear of the relegation zone. I think they'll have enough to stay up. I think Wrexham are still looking pretty good. Millwall, I'd love to see Millwall. Millwall have always been flirting with the playoffs in and around it. Ben Burton Diaz scored for Derby yesterday.
Did he?
Yep, scored a goal for Derby
He's
yesterday.
been playing okay, though, I think, for them.
Against his old team. And yeah, it's the league is shaping up nicely. Unfortunately for us, we don't play in the league in the next week because we have a different course of action.
We're in the last 16?
16 of the FA Cup.
Of the FA Cup, away at Fulham.
Away at Fulham.
Fulham! I couldn't give a shit. The only reason why I care about not losing is on the off chance it impacts confidence and affects our league form. I literally couldn't give a shit about the cup. We're not going to win it because we'll get some big money Premier League club at some point. So we're not going to win it. So I couldn't give a fuck about it. I couldn't care less.
Anyway,
there you go, chat.
I'm intrigued to see what Tonda does because we play West Brom 3 days later.
Rest the fucking lot, take the loss. Put the first team back out again against West Brom and win that game.
Because I watched Fulham play today. They played Spurs today. Anyone wants to laugh, just go and watch Spurs play at the moment because they are.
They actually might go down.
Well, I don't know because West Ham can't seem to want to win. Notts Forest don't want to win anymore.
But Spurs are looking shocking as shit.
And Fulham look like absolute world beaters for the first hour and then look like shit. I think what he will do is he will play. So there's a little, another elephant in the room which I haven't mentioned. Obviously, Ross Stewart didn't play yesterday because he had a bit of muscle tightness. Now, I'm hoping that he picked it up in training, but it also makes it seem pretty stupid if they brought him on when we were 5-0 against QPR. We didn't need to if he gets muscle tightness and missed Sheffield Wednesday. Having said that, we won. Doesn't matter. If he wouldn't have won, all hell would have broken loose. The result next week doesn't really... You're right, we're not going to win the FA Cup. The result next week doesn't really matter. It would just be a fucking Saintsy thing for us to turn up there, put out a second string side and put in a bloody performance. We go live every Sunday at 8 o'clock for the question that's just been asked in the chat.
Who asked the question?
Third one up.
How often do you guys live? Oh, okay. Every single Sunday, yeah. I'm in two minds. I am because in terms of the actual FA Cup, I just don't care about it. I really don't. I haven't for a long time. I think the magic of the FA Cup has disappeared. I don't think there is much magic around anymore. I think money's ruined it. That's my grumpy old man statement for the night.
You sound like Dad.
But at the same time, I'm cognizant of cup games can change form. As long as our form in the league doesn't change, I couldn't give a shit about the result against Fulham. If losing that game will negatively impact our form, then we should go and win it. But then it fucks around with other fixtures. And then as we're running in, if we're looking at the playoffs, and we are legitimately now, I think, looking at the playoffs, we are looking at extra games as well. 2 extra games, no less, because you've got to play the playoff semi-final and the playoff final, right? If you're looking at those extra games...
Potentially 3 extra games.
You don't want the cup game. You don't want the cup games.
Look, it wouldn't bother me to a point if it wasn't. So we've obviously had to surrender the game against Norwich next week because we're playing in the FA Cup. It wouldn't bother me to a point, but again, we've got a big week of games coming up. So we've got Fulham Sunday, West Brom Wednesday, Coventry early Saturday, Norwich to follow in Wednesday, Oxford to follow in Saturday. So I would take from those 4 games, you want to be looking at 9 points, at least, realistically, if you want to be chasing the playoffs.
That's fair, yeah, reasonable.
I would assume that he potentially might do the same. I don't think Fulham will go weak next week. I think they may drop a few players and rest a few players, but they are playing midweek. Can someone please confirm that for me if they're playing midweek? I think they're playing midweek.
Are we going to do score predictions for this?
Fulham are playing on Wednesday. I don't think we need to. I think they'll beat us I think it'll probably be a routine 2-0, 3-0 win for Fulham and we'll come home and we shouldn't let it bother us too much.
Okay, I'm going to say 1-0 Saints because I can't bet against them.
I don't care about the FA Cup. Chat, let us know what you think.
I don't care about the FA Cup, but I can't say we're going to lose. It's just I can't do that. Can't do that. Right, anyway, there you go. Let us know what you think for Fulham. Let me know if you care about the Cup. Let me know if you have a score prediction. When we asked previously about what people think about the playoffs, for the most part, people in chat were saying keep it at 4. There's no point changing it. But this is the issue with football quite often actually at the moment. If you speak to the fan base, they don't want to change the playoffs. If you speak to A lot of people that don't want the playoffs to change. They think it's fine as it is. That's teams that are that's fans from teams that are in 14th, 15th place. But it'll probably get voted in because it probably means more money.
Alison, you say 1-1, but who wins it? Remember, no extra time, no replay, extra time and penalties.
Is it extra time penalties? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh. In the meantime, I'll jump into chats. We did say thank you to Nick at the start for his $2 super chat. Thank you, Nick. You're a legend. Jacariah and Yeston Jones both gifted a membership as well. Thank you so much, you wonderful humans. We obviously said thank you to Cameron for becoming a reserve team member.
Slopping his big dick out on the table.
No one's a first team member. And then James bullied him.
No one is a first team member.
You bullied James. Well, you bullied James's wife to buy him a membership. He's now green.
Did she do it?
Look at that. Well done, James's wife.
Well done, James.
His wife.
Get in the members section in Discord.
And then Jack decided, I'm not just going to give a membership away, I'm going to become a member as well. So he's also a member of the Academy.
Legends.
Thank you, you wonderful human beings. That's 5 new members tonight. And then Garsty came in at the end with a $2 super chat, said, keep it at 4. Any more dilutes the quality of the teams. I agree. And I think that there is always that risk because the problem with the playoffs is it's essentially a mini cup competition. And we all know what happens with form in cup competitions. It goes out the fucking window and anyone can win. And if you pull a team in from what is essentially 8th place, right, who then happens to just get lucky and get promoted, you have to believe that in the Premier League they're probably going to get fucking battered. And that's you can end up doing more damage long term to that club than you do positive.
I agree to a point. The problem is so if you look at the Championship table, there is there's about 3-4 teams that have never been in the Premier League before. I think it's 3, actually, who have never been in the Premier League before. I think it's a stupid one from some because there's always a team that generally hits the playoffs in every league that has gone on a bit of a run to get there. And so you normally get a team that hits the playoffs on absolutely top form. If they don't, then, we'll see how it goes. But it'll be interesting. We'll discuss it, obviously, next Sunday because I doubt there's going to be much to talk about for the game at Fulham. I will be watching it at Mum and Dad's house because I don't have TNT Sports and you don't have it here. Because...
Here?
Do you have it here?
Yeah.
You have TNT Sports here?
Yeah, I can have it wherever I want.
You can put it on TV downstairs.
It's a fucking website, isn't it?
You can put it on TV downstairs, though.
If we're open...
Yeah.
No.
Oh, well, be better.
I can put it up here for you.
Oh, so yeah, but...
Look at these comfy chairs. You watch football.
Mum will make me lunch. She doesn't know it yet, but Mum will make me lunch. Thanks, Mum.
I can give you a bag of Piper's Crisps and a Snickers.
You charged me for it last time.
Oh, business is run, Ash.
I think it's going to be an interesting one to see how we get on, but I think I'm the same as you to a degree in the fact that I don't think the FA Cup's important. I've just had a quick look. Teams left in the FA Cup, obviously, we know where we're going with it. You're looking at why is it not going back? The tablet's shit. Yeah, it's your tablet being shit. So the other games in the FA Cup are...
Shut your dirty whore mouth.
Eh? Just call me a whore.
Yeah.
Wolves have got Liverpool. We know he's going to win there. Wrexham have got Chelsea. We know he's going to win there. West Ham have got Brentford. That'll be Brentford most likely. Arsenal away at Mansfield. Newcastle, Man City, and Leeds versus Norwich. So that's going to be...
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I will pick up, I've kept it here as well. I think it was Cameron that said it. People who run football are getting more tone deaf. I actually couldn't agree more, I'll be honest.
Yeah, 100%.
Joshy, thank you for the $5 right at the end. He says, thoughts on Ramsdale coming back, maybe, not playing at Newcastle? Interesting question.
It is an interesting question. And for those who've seen any of the Premier League highlights on Match Today or whatever, other TV channels are available. Nick Pope made an absolute howler yesterday.
Did he?
Oh, it was awful. The ball, I don't know what he should catch it, but he parries it and then Beto knocks it in. Nick Pope has made a lot of mistakes for Newcastle this year, and Newcastle have been on and off. I know you don't follow it as much as I do, but obviously I follow all football in the Premier League. Alison actually asked earlier who do we think is going to get relegated from the Premier League, and I think that Newcastle, obviously I'm not going to get relegated, but Aaron Ramsdale was an interesting one, but I think still he would only come back if we go up.
Interesting.
And for those who want to see a good save, as Matty's just said in the chat, go and watch that Jordan Pickson save.
I honestly struggle with the Premier League with watching it at the moment. I feel like a lot of the excitement from Premier League football has gone, and one of the biggest reasons for that is honestly the officiating in VAR. I hate it.
I agree with it to a point. So I watched. What did I watch on Friday? I watched Wolves versus Aston Villa. You'll be interested to know that Adam Armstrong is still shit. What was the 5:30 game yesterday kick? I didn't watch yesterday, obviously, because I was on the road.
Do you think there's anything in and I've seen this mentioned, do you think there's anything in that Adam Armstrong's left, our form's now really good?
Do you believe in coincidences?
I believe that there's coincidences exist. There's a lot of people suggesting that he might have been a bad apple in the dressing room. He might have been one of the negative impacts.
Since he's gone, our form has been undeniable. Having said that, he was also a part of the factor when we had that good form when Tonda first took over. But since he's gone, the form has been brilliant. And I think for those people like us who go to the games every week, you can see a bit of a difference. Okay, let me ask you this question. If Adam Armstrong is playing against Leicester, do you think we make that comeback?
No.
There you go then. Potentially that could be where it is. Because he got an assist on Friday night. To be fair, it just hit him and Gomez knocked it in. Obviously, chat will know that if your surname is Gomez, at some point in your life you have to play for Wolves.
Facts.
But apart from that, he was awful. He made a load of good runs, as he does, but he doesn't really get involved with the play. But I just thought, I watched the game and I thought he was fucking dreadful.
Alan says, I've heard that he was a bit of a bad egg. This is what I'm saying. I've heard this noise as well, and I'm sort of surprised by it a little bit, but hey, look, he's gone. Our form's better.
But I've watched...
Maybe it's linked, maybe it's not.
I've watched 3 games today. Well, I've watched... I know you've been working, haven't you?
I know.
You're running your new business. He's not mentioned it enough, has he? I watched Old Firm Derby.
Some people in the chat came in.
They did come in.
Some people came in and had coffee. Jimmy Cheese came in. He bought me cheese. I need to take that home, actually. I can't today because I'm on the bicyclette, but...
You've not got a little... No, I'm not even going to ask. Get a backpack. That's what you need.
But Jimmy came in, had a drink and a...
But there's a few in there. So those who haven't seen it, and we don't do VAR in a way anymore for obvious reasons. But Burnley were fucking robbed by VAR yesterday. Chelsea should have had a penalty against Arsenal today, but then they scored from the resulting one, and it's just stupid. And I'm just, yeah. We'll have that conversation if we ever get to the point of actually going up, guys. But that'll be a conversation for pre-season, because the one thing that we are going to do, obviously, is cover the World Cup, and there is going to be VAR at the World Cup. That's if we've not all been bombed by them.
We are going to cover the World. I'm just fucking never leaving this building. I just live here now.
You can sleep on the casting couch.
Yeah. Yeah.
You wouldn't even fit.
I don't fit on it. I tell you what, I sleep in this chair. You push that table back a little bit, you put your feet up, you sit back on this chair, and it's very easy to go to sleep. Very easy.
He does it most Sundays, 8 o'clock, don't he, chat? Do you think beating Fulham could give us a confidence boost, Winnie, for the rest of the season, or do you think it'd hinder us by playing more games? Honestly think it would hinder us playing more games.
I think both. No, I think both points are relative.
The only reason why I say that is because, and again, we've seen it to a degree, but this is what Tonda has a like to tinker with things a little bit too much on what he calls a 3-game week, and it fucking terrifies me.
So first of all, right, it's not a 3-game week. If you play on a Saturday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, and a Saturday, it's not a week. It's 8 fucking days. So it's not a 3-game week. It's a 2-game week. That fucking pisses me off. Because a week is 7 days, not 8 days. Don't care where you're from, Tonda, right? Annoys me. So it's a 2-game week to start with. But I think both those things can be true at the same time. I think it can give us a confidence boost and can mean we end up playing too many games whilst we're trying to run through the playoffs. I think both can be true at once.
Let's see what happens, but I just don't, next week is next week.
So. Right. I think that's everything, isn't it? We good? We happy?
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy. I get to ride my bicycle at home. Have a day off tomorrow.
No, I'm back at work tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for watching, you wonderful human beings. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. It's nice to sit here with over 100 people watching again on the back of 2 victories, actually, because sometimes the numbers only spike when things are shit and I swear a lot. It's quite nice to have a bit of positivity, be feeling pretty good, be talking about the fact that, you know, realistically, actually, the playoffs are a genuine possibility for us. We do need someone like Millwall or Wrexham to start dropping some points, if I'm honest with you. I think Millwall, Wrexham are up for a fucking shock if they get promoted, I'll be honest.
Yep.
But we'll see. If you haven't already, get yourself on the Discord server. That's free. It's linked in the video description below or in the show notes if you're listening on iTunes and Spotify. So come and hang out in the Discord, get chatting. Ash loves the Discord. He's in there a lot talking to people. So do that. If you ever see us at any of the games, people started doing this, please. They've started to turn up and say hello and shake your hand and shout, get the pinball machine at me. I love it. I do legitimately come and say hello. We'll chat football for 10 minutes. Maybe I think there's a couple of people we've had beers with and all sorts.
Yep.
I mean, so
Always.
please, it's great. The amount of people that come up saying really enjoy the show. That's amazing. So thank you so much. You are insanely awesome. Jimmy Cheese, who did come to my shop on Friday, so I love him. Right, he is also live after this.
Yep.
And tonight I have successfully set up the redirect. So if you hang around in chat, the end screen will come up. I'll end the show and it will put you into his live chat, ready for his live stream. Okay? I've set that up already because I fucking love Jimmy.
Yep.
He bought me cheese. If he brings me cheese, I'll give him viewers. That's how it works. That's the trade-off, right?
Always thinking with your stomach.
Right, so thank you, Jimmy, for the $2 as well. It says Legends. No, you. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, chat. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have or enjoyed the show, you have enjoyed what you've listened to and me laughing about Wednesday on Saturday, on Tuesday, on Monday, then please make sure you smash that like button before you disappear. If you've watched this on demand and not in live stream, or if you've watched it in live but not chatted and you haven't already, please make sure you smash that subscribe button for us. They are very important. The more subscribers we have, the bigger our manhood feels. That's how it works, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
It's not working then.
It's not for you, no. Here we go. Like a press stud, isn't it?
Hit the like button, people. Come on.
Thank you so much for watching. Before we disappear, Ash, have you got any words of encouragement you'd like to say or anything else you'd like to say?
Tonda's at the wheel. Up the Saints.
Up the Saints. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.